Everybody good? Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can. Before we begin, please take a moment, and anything you have that makes noise, like a phone or whatever, please turn it off if you haven't done so already. And now, if I may ask everyone to please stand. I guess this is a moment of silence with our flag. Okay, how many stripes? 13. Thank you. Please take your seats. Well, hello and greetings to the Executive Doctorate in Business Administration class of 2022, and we also have members of the classes of 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. And to all your guests, both here and virtually, welcome. I am Louis Grabowski. I am the director of Georgia State's DBA program, and I, along with my co-conspirator, colleague, and our academic director, Dr. Lars Mathiasson, welcome you to this ceremony. Today, we celebrate the completion of the program for our 11th cohort, the class of 2022, and, as I mentioned before, members of the classes of 2018, 19, 20, and 21. It's hard to believe that it's been nearly 13 years since we started this program and recruited our first class. And as Albert Einstein said, it's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Similarly, the DBA graduates that are here today are pretty smart, but it's not that they are smart that we are celebrating them today. Rather, we are celebrating these students today because they are the ones that spent the past 3 years learning the skills to rigorously approach problems. These are the ones that then took these learned skills and applied them to examining a practical problem, shed light on that problem, and shared that knowledge in the writing and successful defense of a dissertation. In short, it's not just that they're so smart that we celebrate them. It's that they have learned how to stay with problems longer. And in doing so, they have made themselves smarter and the world a little smarter. Moreover, these soon-to-be new doctors have come to realize, as the industrialist Henry Kaiser put it, problems are only opportunities in work clothes. So it gives me great pleasure that another group of highly motivated and smart problem solvers are ready to deal with the opportunities and the challenges of the future. Congratulations. I'd like to now introduce our special guests who are seated up front here. Please stand when I call your name, and please hold your applause till we are finished. The first special guest is Dr. Richard Phillips. He is the Dean of our school, of our Robinson College of Business at Georgia State. Seated next to him is Dr. Lars Mathiasen. Dr. Mathiasen is a professor in the Computer Information Systems. He is co-founder of the Center of Digital Innovation and Academic Process, and he is director, of course, academic director of our DBA program. And certainly last but not least is our commencement speaker today, who is Dr. Kofi Smith, a 2018 graduate of our program. Let's give him a big applause. And in the world of people that we could not do this program without, I'd like now to recognize our dissertation advisors who guided our students to the successful defense of their dissertations. J.J. Shea, Associate Professor of Computer Information Systems, Lars Mathiasen, who I've just introduced, Richard Baskerville, Professor of Computer Information Systems, Vikas Agarwal, Professor of Finance, Danny Bellinger, Professor Emeritus Marketing, Sub Somadar, Professor Managerial Sciences, Carol Saunders, Professor Emerita Management, Satish Narkundar, Clinical Professor Management, Naveen Danthu, Professor Marketing, and Wes Johnson, Professor of Marketing. If we could have a little round of applause for our advisors. Now I'd like to introduce also our staff and GRAs who have worked so hard to make this program a success. George Vallejos, who unfortunately is sick and could not make it today. He is our Associate Director. Stephanie Urbis, who I think a lot of you know, has put this program together. She is our Assistant Director of Marketing. Nikita Vure, she is a GRA, and I don't believe she's here today. And Paige Christian, thank God for Paige, is one of our GRAs. And in addition to our advisors and staff, I'd very much like to also acknowledge and recognize those students and alumni who have come here today to support and cheer on our graduates. So please join me now in a round of applause for our dedicated advisors, staff, and valued supporters. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Dean Phillips. Richard Phillips is the 7th Dean of the J. Mac Robinson College of Business. He previously was chair of the Department of Risk Management and Insurance. Under Dr. Phillips' leadership, Robinson is pioneering business education to create value in an era of digital transformation, emphasizing strategic research relationships with companies, and helping businesses meet the real and emergent needs of rapidly changing global markets. Dr. Phillips holds a doctorate in managerial economics from the Wharton School and has published more than 50 scholarly publications on the impact of risk on corporate decision-making and the efficient functioning of insurance markets. He received twice the Robert Mayer Award, given to authors of papers with the greatest impact on the fields of risk and insurance the decade after their publication. Beyond the university, Dr. Phillips is a corporate director of the Munich American Reassurance Corporation and a past president of the American Risk and Insurance Association and the Risk Theory Society. He serves on the board of the World Affairs Council of Atlanta and is the board chair emeritus of the Swift School, one of Georgia's largest private schools serving dyslexic children. Please join me now in welcoming Dean Richard Phillips.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be here with all of you today. It's an honor to be here for the commencement exercises for the class of 2022 of Georgia State's Executive Doctorate in Business program. I well remember my own hooding ceremony almost 30 years ago now. I know, I was 12. Earning my own doctorate remains one of the most meaningful achievements of my own career. What a feeling of accomplishment it was for me, and I'm sure it is for you today. Did I work hard? Well, you sure bet I did, and so did you. You stretched yourself, and you went the distance. In truth, I could say the same thing about every DBA cohort dating back to the inaugural class of 2012. They also stretched themselves. They also went the distance. This is a tough program, and completing it is always impressive. But for the class of 2022, and let's throw in the classes of 2020 and 2021, and a few 2018s, and a few 2019s. You all had the demands of a program that was multiplied by the challenges and complexities of a world that was turned upside down by COVID. And then, 2 months into the pandemic, we had the stresses of social distancing, illness, and fear, compounded by turbulence and civil unrest after the murder of George Floyd. And 2 years later, the nation is even further divided, and it continues to grapple with many seemingly unbridgeable differences, compounded most recently by a war in Europe. As C-suite executives, you entered this program well aware your plates would be full. But none of us could have foreseen the unprecedented challenges that we all face today. And the fact that you persevered, that you forged ahead during these historically chaotic times says a lot about who you are, both individually and collectively as a cohort. It's really a testament to your mettle. These 3 rigorous years culminate in this celebration today, but even more so in demonstrating your ability to learn rigorous research methodologies and to use these newfound capabilities to address vexing business problems. The outstanding work that you have produced will remain relevant for years. And if you want proof of that statement, consider this. Dissertations by the 162 alumni of this program of the 10 prior EDB cohorts have been downloaded 216,000 times. So, you're at the apex of your careers, and now you've attained the highest level degree, a terminal degree, one you can secure in the study of business. So what's next for you? Let me suggest an answer. Dean James Russell of Columbia University proposed such an answer in 1925, at the dawn of professional education. He suggested that on our best days, we produce, quote, men and women released for trained leadership, free from the bias of creed, free from the blight of pseudoscience, free from the curse of the mere technician, practitioners imbued to a certain extent, we trust, with the university ideals of culture, of service, and of public devotion, end quote. At Robinson, we have taught you leadership theories that emphasize that authority derives not only from the statutory power defined by a role, but also from the moral authority and the integrity that you possess, as demonstrated by how you behave. We have also taught you evidence-based approaches that provide you with the capability to be credible in the marketplace for new ideas and to demonstrate your integrity. So in the spirit of Dean Russell, I challenge you to lead courageously in your organizations and in your communities with the ideals of culture, of service, and of public devotion, and to do so free from the blight of pseudoscience, and free from the curse of the mere technician. Look for opportunities to serve on nonprofit boards. Share your knowledge with other executives, and identify and attack systemic frictions in institutions and in society that lead to inequities, and all while creating value in the marketplace. I encourage you to do so using both the evidence-based approaches that you have learned in the program, while always being mindful of the power that a generous heart and a willingness to improve your company and the world around you can have on others and on yourself. Change for good happens when people step up with empathy and they lead courageously. Do so often, and you will leave the world better than you found it. And you yourself will be spiritually richer for it as well. Always look for ways to collaborate and approach solving problems in an inclusive manner. So in closing, I encourage you to remain involved with the members of your cohort, your advisors, and the DBA Council colleagues through the Center of Engaged Business Research. Change the world for the better. Do so without the curse of the mere technician. Congratulations on your graduation from the Executive Doctorate in Business program from the J. Mac Robinson College of Business at Georgia State University. I congratulate the class of 2022, and I look forward to staying in touch with each of you and seeing where your leadership impacts the world next. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Phillips. Appreciate that. Now for the big moment, the hooding. Just as a reminder, you'll come up on stage, you'll come up to my right, and you will stand in front of the dean, and your advisor, or me, if your advisor is not here, will then hood you. You'll have your hood over your arm. Once hooded, the photographer will take our picture on stage, and then you will exit through this little secret hallway here that comes out over here, and you will go sit down. So with those fine instructions, we will start our hooding. Let us begin. Dr. Baskerville? Yes?
Hi. It actually makes me extremely happy to stand here and look at you. It's a tremendous pleasure, and also with some humility that I stand here for what you've done. Let me say to the audience that as Richard Phillips said, this is no easy thing to do. I would like to introduce each graduate for the audience here so that you understand that each person here has a professional background of some importance. And then they have engaged in a doctoral program in which they have extended, built on, related to that professional background through rigorous research into a practical problem. This is quite different from any doctorates that normally start out from the books of the world. Here we start out from the world, and we start out from the experience and background of each student, and we learn them to go on based on their knowledge they already have by engaging in rigorous research. So I will try to make that point clear as I introduce each of them. And I should hold this down. Yeah? Here we have the first. Welcome, Drew. Huey, would you please come up? Let me say about Drew. Drew has a long career in quality. He has actually been a quality manager and a director, and he's a CFA. And as you can see here, his dissertation relates to that. It's entitled Re-establishing Organizational Stability Through Leading Resilience, Avoiding the Maelstrom of Personal Distress Caused by an Organizational Disruption. Please. DBA Vivekanandan, please come up. DBA is a senior consultant in information technology and strategy, and she has written a dissertation entitled The Concept of Digital Twins and Its Impact on Organizational Performance. Please. Charlie at a battle, please step up with your advisor, JJ. So Char has quite some expertise in information technology in the health domain, where she has both taught and managed and worked with practitioners. And Char has written a dissertation with the title Healthcare Innovation Absenteeism, the Rise of Physician Entrepreneurs and Medical Startups. Please. You're doing well, Char. Shinika Bird, please come up to us. Shinika, together with her husband, who is also with us today, have actually founded their own business and runs their own business. So she's a business entrepreneur and manager. And beside that, she's a professor at University of North Alabama. And Shinika has written a dissertation with the title, The Impact of Personality Traits and Emotional Intelligence on Emergent Leadership. Please. Kathy Hill, please step up. Kathy has worked for Georgia Pacific in the executive suite. Georgia Power, sorry. Sorry. Can I share with you that it says GP here in my...
I'm glad I could help you.
Yeah, that's good. So, of course, at Georgia Power, and she's worked both in the headquarters in Atlanta, but very importantly, she has also worked out there in the rural areas and in Savannah, working for Georgia Power. And I would also say that you have your own roots in the rural parts of Georgia. Is that correct, Kathy?
That's correct.
Yeah. So that explains her dissertation, which is entitled Entrepreneurship in Rural Areas, Examining the Influence of Post-Secondary Education. Please. Akinwande Ademoso, please come up. Akin is an executive in the financial industry with roots in Nigeria and with a big heart for trying to create innovation and growth back in Nigeria. And he has written a dissertation entitled "The Impact of the Financial System and Its Channels on Small to Medium-Sized Enterprises' Access to Financing, a Nigerian Perspective." Please. Leroy Carson, please step up. Let me admit, Leroy, if I may, that I actually had a little bit of difficulty putting you into a box. I hope you take that as a compliment. But Leroy is an entrepreneur for sure. Leroy has also a long career in creating events around jazz. Therefore, I think your dissertation makes a lot of sense from that perspective. The title is, "How does the infrastructure and support of two progressive startup communities compare for African American entrepreneurs and small businesses?" And it's a comparative study between Atlanta here in Georgia and Charlotte in North Carolina. Please. Jim Crone, please step up. And this is actually a picture of Jim from when he was younger. Jim is quite an accomplished sales professional and manager, and he has thrown himself in to understand the emergence of e-sport in the marketing domain. So the title of his dissertation is "The Impact of the COVID-19 Pandemic on Esports Viewership Trends." Please go ahead. Jason Duke, please step up. Jason is another sales professional and manager and has also studied very interesting problems related to those roles. The title of his dissertation is "The Impact of Values Congruence on Sales Personnel Performance and Retention, a Person-Organizational Fit Analysis." Please go ahead. Irina Kogan, please join us. I will give two characteristics about Irina that are extremely descriptive of her. One is that she's really a successful entrepreneur. Together with her family, they have created a very successful business here in the United States. But Irina is also, as many of us, an immigrant to the United States. And that led her to study the following: drivers of success to effective entrepreneurship, a comparison of immigrant and native-born perceptions. Please go ahead. Siobhan Lewis, please step up. Siobhan is an accountant, and she has worked extensively with different forms of financial services and has an interest in performance of organizations. And she has written a dissertation on that subject called An Exploratory Study of the Factors Affecting Hospital Performance, Safety, Clinic Care, Patient Experience, Efficiency, and Cost. Please. Peter McGaffigan, please. Peter is a senior investment strategist, and Peter has developed a dissertation on time-varying style rotation by small-cap mutual fund managers, incentives and implications. Please. Scott Murray, please join us. Scott has for many years worked in the pharmaceutical industry as manager, marketing guy, and innovator. And Scott has written a dissertation with the title, Management Perception of the Value of Artificial Intelligence in Drug Discovery and Development. Please. Nikiruka Uhekbo, please join us. Currently, Nikiruka lives in California, and she has worked related to government there in different roles. She has worked in government, but she has also worked as government affairs principal for companies. And her roots are in Nigeria, so I think her heart is both here and there. And she has written a dissertation with the title, Innovative Investment and Trade in Sub-Saharan Africa, Opportunities and Barriers for State Governments in a Disruptive Global Economy. Please. Sean Reynolds, please join us. Sean is a marketing and innovation professional and with an interest in the medical device industry. And he has written a dissertation on the following title, Factors Influencing Surgeon Adoption of Technology in the Medical Device Industry. Please. Mariam Al-Ali Sastupil, please join us. I can't help saying here, I hope it's okay, Miriam, that we met as a program, we met Miriam for the first time 8 years ago.
Yes,
And-
Tulsa,
and-
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I remember. And we kept meeting at various conferences, and she always said she would join the program, and so you did.
Yes.
And then you graduated.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Miriam has actually a background in the air traffic industry, but I think another thing that characterizes you is that you're a world traveler.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've been part of the program, you traveled.
26 states so far.
Yeah. So that speaks, both of those backgrounds speaks to the title of your dissertation, which is Sense of Place and Customer Experience, a case study in the state of Alaska. Please. Sarah Kayonga, please join us. And sorry for this, but here I step over also and help with the hooding because Sarah is one of my students. Let me introduce Sarah by saying that Sarah is a development economist. She is an innovator, an entrepreneur, and has done tremendous innovative work back in her country of Uganda. And again, you will see those traits in her dissertation, which is entitled Dynamic Capabilities in Microfinance Innovation, a case study of the very famous Grameen Foundation. Please. And last but not least, please join us, Derek Warren. Derek has a background in IBM, many years, executive in IBM. I think you retired, Derek, if I remember correctly, and then you joined this program, but immediately after having joined this program, you went back to your alma mater. Derek has a big heart for the historically black colleges and universities, and joined as director and now professor at Southern University. And there you took charge of using technology to tie closer to the school, the alumni, and create a very effective alumni network. So your dissertation is about that. It's entitled Digital Member Network Implementation and Co-Production, and an investigation of an alumni association network. Please.
Folks, I think it goes without saying that we'd like to congratulate the graduates of Georgia State University's Executive Doctorate in Business program in total. Congratulations. I'd like now to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Kofi Smith. From 2010 to 2020, Dr. Smith served as president and CEO of the Atlanta Airlines Terminal Company, AATC, leading the strategic direction and management of all building operations for the world's most traveled airport, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. During his tenure, he managed close to $1 billion in operations and approximately $650 million in capital improvement projects. Moreover, while under his leadership, AATC was recognized as one of the top best places to work in Atlanta. That kid's one of them. He worked there. And Dr. Smith was recognized as one of Atlanta's most admired CEOs. In 2021, Dr. Smith launched his own company, Keystone Management, LLC, a fully integrated facility management company providing services in facility management, construction management, program, and property management as well. Dr. Smith serves on the boards of many nonprofits, including the Goodwill of North Georgia, City of Refuge, the National Black Child Development Institute, the Georgia Tech Advisory Board, and as a trustee for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Foundation, for which he has raised over $230,000. Dr. Smith has a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering and an MBA in global business from the Georgia Institute of Technology. But most importantly, however, in 2018, Dr. Smith was awarded a doctorate in business administration from the Robinson College of Business at Georgia State University. He finally got into Georgia State. Please welcome Dr. Smith. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Dean Phillips, Dr. Lewis, Dr. Lars, Stephanie, George, thank you so much for trusting me with this amazing moment. I have learned as a speaker that there is brilliance in brevity, and I know that I'm standing between you and the completion of this ceremony, so I will be brief, I will attempt to be brilliant, and I will be gone within 10 minutes, plus or minus a minute. My mom is here in the back. She's with me today. She is the hardest working person I know. As early as I can remember, my mom has always been working. I watch her be fearless when it came to putting in work and contributing to the support of her family. A true Proverbs 31 woman, leaving the house early in the mornings to catch a van to travel 45 minutes to an hour to her job, selling tiara glasswork out of our home, never being scared of the word no. And every time she came back home late, she never failed to have a toy in her hand as a surprise for me. My dad in the audience is the kindest man that I know. I grew up watching him always being willing to help others, put others before himself. I always tell people my dad is a big, gentle giant, standing tall at 6'2.5", weighing in around 270. He is a big guy with a big heart. He is very gentle unless you mess with his wife or mess with his children. My dad never missed one of my sporting activities, but always made sure I put my education before my sports. Why are my parents here today? They are here today because without them, I would not be here today to experience one of the most amazing moments of my life. Without the life lessons and the support of my mom and dad, this moment would not exist. I pray that my wife and I are able to emulate my mom and dad so that we too can create an amazing moment like this for our little man, Cole Parker, Ice Cole, who's in the audience, and his little sweet 3-year-old baby brother, Kyler Red, who is not in the audience because if he was, this moment may not exist. Why is this moment so amazing? In elementary school, I had a speech impediment. There were times when I sounded like I was Elmer Fudd. I would mix up my R's and my L's so you would hear me say, "You have widow wags." It was terrible. In the 6th grade, I was bullied by this clown who, after doing a little bit of Google searches and social media searches, I see now that his life has been in and out of jail. So to him, I say, "Look at me now." And In junior high, I was terribly uncoordinated. I couldn't hit a layup to save my life on the basketball field. The basketball court. The older guys, I'm trying to get to football. The older guys would make fun of me, pick fun, and then in high school, I sat on the bench my sophomore year watching from the sideline, just hoping and wondering if I would ever get a moment on that football field. Now, God did give me some special moments my junior and senior year in high school, which led me to Georgia Tech. But my college career, I did not play my first season. My second and third season, I barely played. My fourth season, I got my shot. Thursday night, biggest game of my life. I'm having the best game of my life until the worst, most devastating moment in my life happened when Corey Allen caught the winning touchdown pass on me last seconds. I did not go to the NFL, and I graduated from Georgia Tech with a whopping 2.7 GPA. As you can imagine, all of that which I just told you created a lot of low self-esteem and self-confidence issues. Why is this moment so amazing? I'll never forget sitting in the informational session in 2014 when Dr. Lars said, and I quote, "You will be required to write a 100-plus page dissertation and defend it before a body of scholars." Everything about that sentence and every word in that sentence invoked massive fear inside of me. There are so many reasons why I wanted to get my doctorate degree, but there was only one reason why I decided to pursue it, and that was fear. I learned in 2006, when you step through your fear, on the other side of it is glory. And you are witnessing right now proof and evidence of the results of me stepping through my fear. Why is this moment so amazing? Standing here today is just not about evidence of stepping through your fear. There's one more life lesson that I would like to share with you. Today is an amazing moment for all of you. It is an accumulation of 3 years of hard work, grinding, making sacrifices to be away from your friends and your family for this moment. I always tell people that I am just a country boy from Alabama. There's nothing special about me. I am not the smartest. I'm not the most intelligent. I'm not the most handsome. I'm not the most articulate. I'm not the most anything. I am just a simple country boy from Alabama. However, somehow in 2002, shortly after leaving Georgia Tech, my team was awarded Team of the Year. In that same year, 2002, I was awarded Manager of the Year. In 2007, we received the Customer Hall of Fame award for another company. In 2007 and 2008, we won 2 awards back-to-back in a company that had never been done. In 2010, how is it that this country boy from Alabama became the youngest president and CEO at 35 to run the building operations for the world's busiest airport? How is it that this 2.7 GPA football jock in 2012 was honored as one of the men of influence in Atlanta? How is it possible that 2014, 2015, I was 40 under 40 for Atlanta and 40 under 40 for Georgia? How is it possible that 2018, I was awarded the Trailblazer Award for the Atlanta Business League, 2018, the Image Award, 2019, Top 25 Extraordinary Atlantan, 2020, the highest honor that you get from the City Council as far as a proclamation in your name. In 2021, started my own company with an incredible individual who left the airport and trusted in me. We went from 2 people to 35 people within a year with operations in 4 different states. How in the world could that happen to a country boy from Alabama with a 2.7 GPA and just a football jock? How is all that possible? I do not tell you all of that to impress you. I tell you all that to impress upon you that I'm a simple guy. So how did all of that happen? My son, who's in the audience, my 9-year-old, would say, God loves us, and we outwork everybody but only compete against ourselves. We are not worried about outcomes. We only are worried about our effort. We always work hard and do our best, and like a lion, we are brave and courageous, and in the face of fear, we conquer it. That's what he would tell you, and it's all true. But the secret to my blessings is that which is everlasting, which is serving others. I have always been focused on being people-centric and putting others before myself. I try hard with intention to make people feel seen, feel heard, feel respected, safe, and protected. Thank you, Brené Brown. In 1970, Robert K. Greenleaf, a retired executive from AT&T, coined the term servant leadership, which is someone who is a servant first. They naturally want to serve. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Less than 2% of the world's population has a doctorate. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, only 1.2% of the U.S. population has a doctorate. You are very rare. You are very rare. That DR on the front of your name gives you immense, immeasurable influence. To whom is much is given, much is required. Life is an accumulation of moments. These accumulated moments are what we will all think about on our deathbeds. You want those moments to be amazing moments and not moments of regret. Be terrified of regret. It never leaves you until you take your last breath. You will have minimum regrets if you live a life of serving others, hire others, feed others, teach others, uplift others, support others. This is your amazing moment, but it's not about you. It is not about you only. How will you use this moment and all that you have been equipped with over the past 3 years to impact, influence, and serve someone else, not just yourself? When you leave here today, you need to be what the world needs. And that's a person of influence who is willing to use their influence to serve others. Thank you.
Kofi, thank you. Thank you very much. Folks, we just have a few more things and then we'll go to our reception. But the first thing I would like to do is to thank the many people who make this program possible. I'd like to thank the faculty, the college and the university, without whose help we could not make this program. I'd also like to thank the candidates themselves. For the candidates, today is more than just receiving your diploma. It is a formal and symbolic conclusion to a 3 or more year period of extremely hard work, sacrifices, and a continuous struggle to balance your personal, professional, and academic lives. It's the end of an exhausting time during which you have attended 24 3-day residencies away from your families and studied approximately 25 to 30 hours every week, all the while fulfilling the demands of a successful career and of your personal lives. The past 3 years have been, I imagine, one of the most difficult and demanding periods in your lives, but as the late General Colin Powell reminds us, a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Please join me in a congratulatory applause to our candidates. Next, and this part is very important, and Kofi, it follows on your words. We would like to very much thank the family and the friends of our candidates who supported them throughout this program. we fully realize that in many respects this program is a joint venture, and we have deep respect and a very, very sincere appreciation for all the supporters of our candidates. But now, the long hours are over, the team meetings, the papers, the critiques, the presentations, the exams, the dissertation, they're all behind you. Hopefully now, hopefully now you can take a deep breath, put your feet up for a while, rest a little bit, and then, after a little rest, publish your dissertations, okay? I'd like to close now with the words of the late civil rights activist and Congressman John Lewis. In his May 2018 commencement address to the students of Boston University, he ended with these words: "We have the power to lead, the power to change the social, economic, and political structures around you. And if you use all your power to love and not to hate, to build and not to tear down, to heal and not to kill, then we can once again create a nonviolent revolution of values, a revolution of ideas in America and around the world. And if you continue to pursue that standard of excellence in your daily lives, then a better and new world, a beloved community, is yours to build. With faith, hope, and love, peace be with you. I wish you well. Thank you." Now, a very few housekeeping items before I dismiss you. I ask our new doctors and guests to please stay seated and wait until the usher comes to your row. We will dismiss from the front to the back. In the lobby, we hope the new doctors, their friends, families, etc., and supporters will join us for a celebratory reception, and this will be followed by an invitation-only dinner. Thank you, and once again, congratulations.